What's up, guys? This is Brad Staley for BassEast.com. Coming to you today from North Carolina. I drove back from Guntersville yesterday. We would have done this report from the lake, but it was dark by the time I got back to the room after the tournament. I was in the last flight. We didn't come in until like 5 o'clock. But anyway, it was a great tournament down there. You know, Guntersville is an awesome lake. I was really looking forward to, like I said in the first video, for going down there for the event. And it was kind of disappointing in practice down there. Had a really tough practice. You know, I was catching 2 or 3 keepers a day and just a couple of short fish. The water was really cold when we first got down there and first started out. And I started out down the lake the first couple of days, down around the 431 bridge and the Browns Creek and just that area down there around the dam. All the research I had done, kind of said that's where all the tournaments had been won at before that time of the year, and the guys that finished in the top had been in that section of the lake. So I spent most of my time down there and did absolutely nothing. And the last 2 days of practice, I ended up running up the lake, up in the North Salty, South Salty, that section of the lake, probably 15 miles north from the takeoff ramp. And the water was warmer up there, probably 5-6 degrees warmer, and the fish seemed to be a lot more active. And after reading all the reports from the guys, it seems like that's where the top bags in the tournament come from. And I was definitely around the fish to make the cut. I don't know if I was around the fish to win or not, but I was around the fish to make the cut. Just didn't get a couple breaks that I needed to make it happen. But it was a good tournament. I moved up to 30th in the points. Ended up finishing 25th down there. So anytime you get a check in an event like that with all the great level fishermen they got out there, you've had a good trip. Let's see, Robert Boyd, ended up winning the event. He had 66 pounds. And the first day he said he caught them on the same place. There's like a rock and like 16 foot of water around the bridge at North Salty, and it's where Fritz won the series tournament down there 2 years ago. And that's where he said he caught those fish at. The first day had 29 pounds on a jig and a crankbait. And then the second day the wind was blowing or somebody was on the hole or something and he couldn't get on it. But the third day he got back on it and I think he had like 22 pounds and he come back and won with 3 days for 66 pounds. So that's a lot of fish. But for what I was doing, the first day I caught all my fish on spinnerbait after my co-angler tipped me off to it. This is a Dave's Tournament Tackle Tiger Shad spinnerbait, just white with a big nickel willow leaf blade and then a smaller Colorado gold blade on the front. I like that combination in the spring because usually the water's got a little more color to it, so that Colorado will give you a little more vibration. I got just a little twin tail, spinnerbait trailer on it and a trailer hook. They really ate the spinnerbait good the first day, and then the second day, I picked up the spinnerbait first and started out, and my co-angler started out with a crankbait and caught one on the first cast again. Ended up catching them the second day primarily on a little square bill crankbait. This is an old one that's not in production anymore, but I think he was throwing like a 1.5 style bait. There's several of them out now. This one's been custom painted by getthenet.com. It's a buddy of mine over there, and he custom painted that one for me. But there was, great bait. There was a lot of fish down there caught on it. I wish I would have thrown it a little more instead of trying to do the trap thing down there. Also, another bait I caught some fish on in a tournament was a Dave's Tournament Tackle Arky style blue oyster is the color, jig, 1/2 ounce, with just a pro chunk style trailer on it, just kind of a generic trailer. But I had some pier fish, and in practice the sun was out, and I could skip that thing up underneath those piers. And you could catch some fish down there doing that. It was cloudy and kind of rainy and stuff in the tournament, and they didn't bite that as good, so I didn't do as well in the tournament. But in practice, I had some good fish on it. I thought that was going to be my primary deal, but it didn't work out that well on the pier fish. I did weigh a couple of those fish, but they was like 2.5 pounders, and the bluffwall fish was bigger than that. But it seemed like the primary deal was down there. Some guys caught some fish on a jerk bait. That McStick bait seems to be catching a lot of fish. And some people caught some fish on a trap, and then that guy caught those deep fish that won, the Robert Boyd. And it's a riprap fish. There's a lot of fish caught on riprap, and I tried that in practice quite a bit, but I guess I just didn't get on the right sections of riprap. But learned a lot down there, and it was a great tournament. Thanks to you guys for following along.